Hey, welcome back. Welcome to another video featuring the Mutt today. Today, we are going to be getting into some upgrades and some trip preparation. So, I've already begun. Let's roll the intro and let's get into it. All right, again, thank you for checking back in on the channel. I appreciate it. Just real quick, don't ever say this, but um, appreciate it if you're a subscriber. If you don't have the notification thing clicked, try giving it a click. I'm not one of them people that consistently updates videos, every week, twice a week, always at 6 p.m., whatever. I just make videos, and when they're done, I post them. So it might be 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month, who knows? So just so you don't miss something that might be interesting to you, click the notification. I appreciate it. So anyway, what are we doing today? Got the Ranger back inside, getting ready to do some preparation for a big trip coming up. Today is, what is this? This is March 17th today, 2024. First weekend of May, going to be going on a trip called the Big Rig Roundup that's hosted by Discover 4x4 Adventures. And we're going down to Kentucky to the Black Mountains for, I think, 3 days of trail riding down there. Big Rig Roundup. This trip is catered more towards more higher level trucks. I believe the minimum they want is like something on 37s. You got to have a winch, you got to have lockers, you've got to be fairly well built. Don't want to have to be, babysitting or dragging somebody through the trail all day because they brought a vehicle that wasn't quite up to the task. So hopefully my junk is more than capable of doing that. I think it will be, but I guess we'll find out here soon. So what do I want to do in preparation for this trip? Well, I've already started exhaust upgrades. The Y pipe on this truck was originally off my Bronco 2 Gilligan. It's 3 years old. It's been covered in header wrap. So the header wrap's been falling off, and I've been noticing the tube was very, very rusty underneath it. And also the way the Y pipe was built on the driver's side where it comes off the manifold and crosses over was literally right above the yoke of my front axle. And at full stuff, it actually hit it and crushed the pipe. So I took the truck yesterday over to my friend Sean at Gamble's Exhaust Shop, and he built me a new Y pipe. The rest of the exhaust system's fine. It was all new for this truck that I built. Sean built me a new Y pipe that is moved out of the way. It gives me a lot more clearance on my front axle. Should have no more problems with that. But I'm not going to be using header wrap anymore on it. I'm going to try something different. I'm going to pull the system off right now, and I'm going to take it to my buddy's shop, and we're going to have the whole Y pipe ceramic coated. So hopefully that will keep it from rusting and have a little bit of a heat barrier as well. So system's already done. I got to pull it back off the truck right now and get it to my buddies that can coat it for me. Upgrade number 2 is I am going to be deleting the ball joints on this truck. That might actually be its own standalone video I might do just on focusing how to do that. I haven't seen a lot of info out there in regards to early Dana 44s, Jeep 44 stuff. There's a million things out there, but what I bought was a ball joint delete kit from American Iron Off-Road, and I guess I want to show step by step how to install those because I haven't found anything out there in regards to the old Dana 44s. I'll be doing that. Also, my PSC Ram, both of the rod ends on both ends of it, they're 3 years old now. They're pretty seized up. They're not moving right. I've had some problems with my steering ram, my tie rod flipping, I think because everything's binding up. So I'm going to be pulling that off, putting all new rod ends on my PSC Ram. And if things go according to plan, I did make a pretty cool purchase here that I'm going to be picking up shortly. And I think I'm going to be finishing the exo cage, and how about building some custom tube doors? Would you like to see that? I think I would. So anyway, here we go. Let's get started. All right, so here is the table of parts to start with anyway. My order from PSC said I got the new rod ends. These balls on mine are seized up. They will not move. I think that's inducing some bind to that ram travel. So to change those, I did buy a different style clamp. I don't know if I'm going to use this or not. I thought the one that I have is a fabricated one that's got 2 tabs, so the ram is mounted in double shear. I've always heard these are not the greatest idea, but this design inherently would give more degrees of deflection in the rod end. So I'm on the fence whether I'm going to use this or keep my double shear mount, but I got it. Then these are the Dana 44 ball joint deletes. This has been something I've been curious about for a while. I do have a clunking noise on my front end that I have not been able to find, that I'm starting to suspect is my ball joints. I have $250 Yukon ball joints that I put in there when I put this axle in the truck, but I don't know. It doesn't mean that they're going to last forever, so I'm going to go ahead and give these a try. They're completely, rebuildable, replaceable. They have a uniball inside of them. So, but once these are pressed in, there's no need to ever remove these again. It's just a matter of unbolting it and pulling the ball out. So we'll get into that too. All right. So there is the brand new Y pipe. Gonna go ahead and get that dropped off, and we're gonna get this ceramic coated. All right. So one other thing I want to point out in this video, I don't know if anybody has caught this yet. I did something kind of in between videos here. I upgraded the tires on the truggy. I am now sitting on 40s. Officially on 40 by 1350 17 Maxxis Razor MTs. BFGs are no more. I didn't want to do it, but I kind of felt like I had to. It didn't make sense to do it any other way. The 39-inch KM3s that I had on this, I bought used off a friend, and one of them had a superficial cut in the sidewall. It wasn't bad, it wasn't leaking, nothing like that, but I used it as my spare. I put an external patch over it just to protect it, and my thought process is eventually I wanted to get at least 1 or 2 new BFGs as backups. So if the day ever came that I did destroy a tire that was unfixable, that I would have a brand new one ready to go, and I could still keep the questionable one as my spare. I didn't want to use that as my primary tire. So a couple months ago, I decided I'm going to go ahead and order a tire or 2, because the 39-inch KM3s are just, they've been terrible to find them in stock anywhere. So I finally found some places that had a few in stock. So I went to go order one. And what I found out is the price on those tires has gone through the roof. When those tires were bought new a few years back by my friend, they were $440 each, I believe. Now they're $750 each. To buy one tire, the freight and the tax was going to be like $950 for one tire. It's not a red label, it's not a crawler, it's just a regular KM3. And I had a really hard time swallowing that, because once I buy one, I'm committed. I got to buy $3,000 more worth to make a full set eventually. So I decided to check into something else. My friend Brad at Riding Shotgun Adventures, he has these same tires on his Bronco 2. He's had them for about a year now, and he's been pretty happy with them, it seems like. So for the price, you can get these for $500 each. That's crazy. $500 each from Maxxis. These are not garbage China bombs. These things, Maxxis makes good tires. They've been around for decades making good tires. I don't know how these have just been flying under the radar, but they do apparently. So I went ahead and took a chance, and I ordered up a whole new set of 5. And the price was a heck of a lot cheaper than swallowing the price of the BFGs. I've always been a BFG guy. It kind of broke my heart to stray away from them, but man, that's a lot of money. So here we are now sitting on 40s. So I'm liking them so far. I feel like the compound must be softer than what the BFGs were, because I got a full spool in the rear, so going around corners, the inside tire always wants to squeal, squawk, going around corners. These are silent. They don't make any noise. And I run them the same 22, 25-ish street pressure. And they don't make any noise. So to me, that tells me they must be of a softer compound. So hopefully the traction will be better. So we'll find out on this next trip down south when we hit the Black Mountains. So excited to see how these perform on a real off-road trip. So time will tell. 40s. So while the Y pipe is off getting ceramic coated, I did notice I seen a carbon trail on the back port of the cylinder head where the header gasket was leaking. So I decided I'll go ahead and pull off my header and throw a new gasket on it. And while I had it off, just doing a quick inspection, I also discovered for the third time the advanced adapters headers are cracked in not one, but two places. Crack there, and all of that there is a crack. You can obviously see these things have cracked. This port, this primary in particular, I have had to repair it 3 times now. This will be the first time for that port. I do have something in store, another little project I'm working on. We'll discuss that at a later date, but for now, I'm gonna go ahead and get these welded up again, get them fixed, and grab a new gasket and throw this back together. Well, it turns out I had 3 cracks in it. That one fixed. It was cracked along there and cracked there. 3 cracks in it. Unbelievable. All right, so I'll get these cleaned up. These are ceramic coated. They're just filthy as hell. I'll go ahead and clean them up, and then I got some high temp header paint. I'll just hit those 3 little weld spots and call it good. Get her back on. And there it is. The new Y pipe, all ceramic coated. Turned out real good. So I'm gonna go ahead, throw this up, get everything hooked up again, and yeah, see how she sounds. Sounded good before, and move on to the next upgrade. All right, Y pipe is now all installed. Fits beautifully. We're gonna check that off the list. We're done there. Now we're gonna move on to the PSC ram and get those new rod ends installed there to get rid of that bind. Okay, so that rod end and that rod end. I'm gonna go ahead, pull both of those off, get those replaced, and that should hopefully smooth up the steering a little bit, get rid of that bind that I got. All right, let's do that. Okay, that is done. Both new rod ends on. Everything moves a lot more free now. Hopefully that will feel better in the steering, because these are completely seized. They will not budge. These are 4 years old now, probably, and they've been exposed to 4 winters of salt, so can't really complain. I think these were $32 to replace both of them, so not bad. All right, so one more checked off the list. All right, so another modification I did was I did have dual front shocks per corner on this truck, and the ride was a little bit stiff, a little too harsh for my taste. So I went ahead and I eliminated 1 shock per corner, so I'm back to just 1. And it rides a lot better. I've already taken it out for a quick little test drive. But these are the James stuff. I think they're the MS 2020s made by Eibach. They're a lot better shock than the standard Duff 7030s that these dual front shock setups were designed around. So one shock will definitely do the job. So see there, just some spacers and some longer bolts, and got it all buttoned up with just one shock. So that's done. I can check that off the list. And now I'm going to throw a fuel pump and a fuel filter in the truck. I think this fuel pump is starting to get a little bit weak. I've been having some weird hard start issues, and when it's running, it is running leaner than it normally was. And it just did a bunch of tuning on this truck to get it dialed in, and somehow it's off again. So fortunately, in my infinite wisdom, I thought ahead on making the gas tank easily accessible. So all I have to do is remove my spare, and around the perimeter of my floor, remove my expanded metal, and then there's my sending unit. I can pop it right out. So I'm going to do that now. Tires out. In case you never seen, that's where the tire sits. Rolls right down into here. Sits across that cross member, and this cross member just nestles right in there. So nice simple setup. Then I'm going to go ahead and pull all these little 1/4-20 cap screws out to hold the floor down. Get that out of the way and get to the pump. Okay, I got all the other perimeter bolts out. Get this last one out of here. And here we go. There's all the hardware. And the floor just comes right out. Set this aside. So I think I'm going to fire up the air compressor, blow away any dirt up here around the sending unit on top of the tank, but there it is. It's all easily accessible, good to get to. So yeah, let's go ahead and pull this out. I'll get the sending unit over on the bench, and I have a brand new Walbro 255 pump, and get these swapped out. Okay, got everything blown off. I'll go ahead and disconnect fuel lines. Let's see here. This one. That should be the first time I've done this since I put the truck together, so kind of cool to see how my plan works out. There you go. Fuel lines are off. Careful not to break these clips, which are notorious. This is a new pigtail. Hopefully it survives. There's that. And come on. There we go. Okay. Electrical and lines are disconnected. Now just pop the ring off. Let's pull the sending unit out. All right, sending unit is out. There's the assembly. The fuel pump is inside. Quick glance. Pickup. The sock is very clean. That's a good sign. So just got to get this all apart, get to the fuel pump, and then we'll go ahead. And here is the new Walbro 255. So I'll go ahead, get this apart, and get them swapped out. All right, first thing, I'm going to go ahead and pull the float off the little case here. This out of the way. Okay. Now, just got some little push tabs. Unlock. Okay. So unplug it. These fittings just pull out. They got O-rings on them. You know, I got one more screw here in the cap. I was jumping the gun on this. Forgot I had to pull that off. Now, this should all pop up and give me the pump. Get all these released. Is getting them all to release at the same time. There we go. Oh shit. It's an aeromotive pump. Wow, there's a lot of crap in here though. And there's a lot of crap in the screen. Wow. Oh, it's an aeromotive. That's weird. I thought this for sure was a Walbro. But anyway, you can see it's going to be a pretty easy direct swap. So, all right, interesting. See, the aeromotive pump just pulls right off. Okay, the pump is now nestled back inside. Everything is looking good here. Got the sending unit back on, plugged in. Now I just have to make the electrical connection here. I think what I'm going to do is I think I'm just going to cut this wire off the old pump so I can keep this connection, and I'll just wire these two together. So should be the simplest thing, I think. All right, got all this cleaned up, shop vacked it up, so we got a nice clean spot for the O-ring. I got some Vaseline I'm going to put on the back side of the O-ring and get this dropped in. Here is the assembly with the new fuel pump. So I'm going to put a little bit of Vaseline on this O-ring. I'm going to make sure nothing gets past it, no moisture, nothing getting in this tank and mucking up this pump. I am curious now that I know that it's not just some cheap Chinese fuel pump that was in here. It was a good aeromotive pump, so that's kind of surprising. So I don't know. I hope it was my problem and why the truck was having some lean conditions, but I guess we'll find out. All right, O-ring is in place. We have the alignment pins on the top of the sending unit here, which go there and there. Now just gotta feed it all back in. It's gotta find the way it wants to go. There we go. There's that. Get in your home. Okay. Boom, she lines right up. Seated. Grab the locking ring. And tap it around. All right, there it is. She is locked in. Now, electrical connection done. We got this fuel line done, and this fuel line. Okay. All right. I'm going to go turn on the power. I'm going to cycle the key, and if you see gasoline spray, please yell for me to stop. Power is on. And here we go. Key on. We're going to let it prime. Key is on. We're priming. I see no fuel. Do it one more time. Prime. That pump is substantially louder than the old one. Let's crank it up. See if it fires off. There we go. All right. That's a good sign. That's the easiest this thing has started in at least 3 weeks. All right. Okay. We'll throw the floor back in it and button everything up, and we'll check this off the list. All right. Well, unfortunately, that's going to conclude this video. Had a unfortunate turn of events that's going to prohibit me from continuing on with this list of mods. Unfortunately, the transmission in my 2022 Super Duty took a crap. It's at the dealer right now, and I was just informed that they're in the midst of pulling the trans out, and it's going to either need a rebuild or a replacement. So I'm without a daily driver. So the truggy is actually going to be thrown into daily duty, and I'm going to be driving that to work here for a couple days until they can get me a loaner car. So not a big deal. I built that truck to drive, so I'm going to drive it. I'm going to use it at least for a couple days. So anyway, I have to get into another video later on doing the ball joint deletes. So if you have an old school Dana 44 and you're interested in what that's all about, stay tuned for that video. That'll be next. And eventually I will be getting into, I have a new Pro Tools Heavy Duty 105 tubing bender that I just picked up from a friend. And I'm going to be going down the road of finishing off the EXO on the truggy, doing the A-pillar bars and the halo and all that stuff. And I really want to build some tube doors to replace be able to take the steel doors off and have some tube doors to put on. So probably be a couple, 2 different videos as far as that stuff goes. So anyway, most of my trip preparation on the truggy is done. She's good. I took it out for a cruise. The fuel pump definitely helped it. The truck was running a full point richer with the new fuel pump. So it was definitely, the one it was in was getting weak and making it run a little bit lean. So I took it out for a nice long cruise, did some tuning with the laptop on it, got it running really good. So that's it. We're going to go ahead and run with it. So hopefully in the next few days, I got a couple little things here I got to do on the LS Bronco 2 for Jeff. And then this will be back outside. And hopefully by then I'll have the rental car. I'll have a daily transportation I can use. I can get the truggy back in here, and we will get into those ball joint deletes, which should be very cool. So anyway, thank you for watching. Thank you for being a subscriber. Don't forget, click that notification bell because I don't have any kind of upload schedule whatsoever. So just so you don't miss the stuff, I appreciate you guys watching it. So we'll see you shortly. Bye.